Hello everyone, my name is Khalid. Thank you again for viewing my channel and welcome. Now this issue I wanted to discuss is about child-free. This lately has been a very hot button topic for a lot of people, but I'd like to discuss this issue anyway. And I've also come up with a list of reasons to have kids and reasons why people don't want to have kids. So, let's start the show, shall we? Good. Now, I've actually written, I want to read the first list of reasons for why people want to have kids and for why people don't want to have kids. Let's get started. Now, the reasons for having kids, there's the fact that people get a warm, fuzzy feeling when they have kids. It gives another reason why people want to have kids is because it gives them purpose in life. They want to leave behind their legacy, so to speak. It makes them happy, and they believe that children will make them happy. Another reason is that people have a maternal instinct. Maybe it's because of religious reasons for why they want to have kids. Have people pray for them, have their own children pray for them after they pass away. Extending the family name. Some people claim that it's the greatest feeling ever. And the last reason I wanted to mention is the fact that it puts a smile on their face. Now, on the other side, there's the reason for why people don't want to have kids. First reason I put is money. Second is worrying about repeating the same pattern as their parents. Overpopulation is a reason for why some people don't want to have kids. Having fear that they might become bad parents. They dislike kids. Some of them don't have maternal instinct is another reason why they want to be child-free. Lacking intimacy, not having, intimate time with their spouse when they have kids. Another reason for people that want to have kids is to sleep in whenever. And traveling more, experiencing more in life. Some of them never took care of the kids. And last reason is they're not good with kids. But there's one other reason I forgot to put down. Maybe it's because of health problems, health issues that they don't want to pass down to their children, because of history of mental issues, cancer or heart disease or whatever it is that ran in their family. Maybe that's another reason why. What's funny is that people often say that when it comes to people that want to have kids, they're seen as selfish by a lot of other people, by some people out there, and they're also seen as people who are contributing to the problem of overpopulation. But on the other hand, on the other side of the spectrum, the people that don't want to have kids are seen as weird, they're seen as selfish, and they're also seen as people who hate children. And last I checked, you can't really say that all people who are child-free hate children, because some people who are child-free, they make good parents, but they just don't have that maternal instinct. Some of them are really good with kids, even better than parents, believe it or not. And I was surprised when I first saw this for myself. And I can honestly say that to conclude, out of the list of reasons for having kids and not having kids, I can honestly say that there are more selfish reasons for why people want to have kids, more so than people that don't want to have kids. I'm not trying to take sides here, but this is based on what I heard people say and based on the list that I wrote from what I've heard people say and lists of reasons for why to have kids. You can Google this up. But ultimately, they can both be selfish decisions. After all, as human beings, we are, to some extent, considered selfish. So every decision you make in life is selfish. You could say that, you want to live in a different country. You could say that if your family is going to go back to their native homeland, you can live here for the rest of your life, or you can live somewhere else. You can even say that, I want to get something that's more expensive even though it's cheaper because it looks nice. That, in a way, to some extent, is a selfish decision. So, whether you want to have kids or not, both sides are pretty selfish if you think about it. Having kids, that's a big responsibility. You're bringing life here onto Earth. But unfortunately, there are many other parents out there that don't seem to have an idea of the consequences of bringing life into this planet. But to be honest with you, So it's not that they don't. I'm not saying people that want to have kids and people that want to be child free are selfish and they don't think twice about their decision. Some people think about it for years and years at a time before they ultimately come to a decision. Whether you want to be child free or not, that's not always the case though. But you have to respect that this is what they feel, this is how they feel, and what's in their heart is ultimately something that they know what's right for them. Not everybody has a maternal instinct. Not everybody has the instinct to want to take care of children and bring life into this planet. Not everybody has the patience for it. Many people do. Many other people don't. And that's the reality. So you have to be fair and accept it and see it for what it is. On the other hand, I've heard some weak arguments for why you should have children, and I've heard some weak arguments for why you shouldn't have children. People on both sides of the spectrum can have strong arguments. There can be some weak arguments. For example, I've heard some people telling me, well, you should have kids because it's God's plan. Not only is that considered offensive, but you don't know what God's plan is. So, if anything, you're really insulting God by saying this. That's number one. Number two, here's another thing I'd like to point out. You can say that it's God's plan, but on the other hand, on the other hand, you also have to acknowledge that some people will throw arguments at you by saying, well, marriage is about having a family. Well, last time I checked, regardless of whether you get married in a synagogue, a church, a mosque, a Buddhist temple, last I checked, marriage is a contract between the spouses that are getting married to each other. So not only is marriage a contract, but it's a commitment between the two people who love each other and are a promise to be faithful and loving to one another. So with that being said, you can't say that marriage is about having a family. If that's the case, you should. I can honestly tell all the ladies and gentlemen who are watching this video, you might as well find anyone who's considered ugly and unattractive physically and as far as personality is concerned and just have babies with them. Who cares if your baby is going to come out looking ugly, right? Hey, marriage is about having a family. You see how this logic doesn't work? I thought so. And you can't tell someone, well, what's the point of getting married? Well, it's about having a family. Why are you married if you're not going to have kids? Well, marriage is not just about having a family. I mean, you can have a family when you're not married to one person. So, with that being said, there's also love. Love is also part of being married. But yet again, some people nowadays, even to this day, if I should say, they get married for the wrong reasons, whether that person is rich, has a lot of money, or they'll inherit their life insurance if they get with them, or whatever the case may be. So ultimately, here's what I want to say. Every decision will make some kind of impact, not just on yourself, but also when it comes to family members. So it's fair to say that people should be happy, let them live their life, let them do what makes them happy. They can worry about themselves, and all you need to do is worry about yourself. Because you have to look out for yourself at the end of the day. They don't have to look out for you. You look out for yourself. While this child-free issue may in itself cause disappointment, and it may reveal that family members, friends, or loved ones may express disappointment at the end of the day, you have to understand you have to do what's right for you. While it may be normal, they also have to understand that you yourself are your own person, and they just have high hopes for you because they want what's best for you. Maybe their choice of words is not the right way to go about it, but ultimately, if these are really the people that love you, and I'm not talking about family, friends, and even loved ones outside of your family, then they just want you to be the best that you can be. That goes for those who are your true friends and your true companions. But until then, take care of yourselves and each other.